Morning and God bless you, church family. This is indeed the day that the Lord has made, and I hope and pray that you are rejoicing and are glad in it. I send grace and peace to each and every one of you and to your families. Listen, I wanted to take a moment to check in with you all today as we're continuing to progress and move forward and embrace new change as a church and as a ministry. I wanted to make sure and ensure that all of us are moving forward together. And so the information that I want to share with you, our family and our friends and our followers here at Bella Vista, is in regards to some of the changes that you'll be seeing in our Sunday morning worship experiences beginning this coming Sunday, heading into the month of October. We're always trying to ensure, we're always evaluating here at Bella Vista our worship experiences on Sunday morning, because we want to ensure that we're always providing an excellent worship service, for we know that we serve an excellent God. We want to be in pursuit of excellence in regard to that. But we're also moving towards being more inclusive and being more creative as we seek to offer a transformational worship experience in person and online for all of the parishioners and friends of Bella Vista. And so in regards to that, you're going to see some things differently as it relates to how we carry out our worship service on Sunday mornings beginning this coming Sunday. All of it is to ensure, we know that change is often difficult and it's something that we're not used to seeing, but it's all for the better. Everything changes and we must move forward. But I want to make sure that all of us understand some of the things that we are going to be seeing. I know that many of you have already seen the seating, and I know that's a bit different and unusual for some of us in terms of our seating arrangements on Sunday morning. But I hope that you will give it some time and embrace the new norm of it, and I'm sure you will come to appreciate it as well as enjoy it, as we want to again provide the best experience for all of our worship attendees who are here in person. But in regards to our Sunday morning worship, some things are going to be changing, and I want you to prepare for them so that you can expect them. Normally, we have a service that we go through on Sunday mornings, and it's pretty predictable in terms of how that service flows. For the most part, everything is going to remain the same. What you need to know as members who are participating in the worship experience is that one of the dynamics that you're going to see different is one in regards to our corporate altar prayer that we have on Sunday mornings. That is an important part of our worship experience. We're certainly not getting rid of it, but it's just going to be a little bit different. I know normally in a week or on a Sunday, we invite you to come to the altar, we invite you to assume postures of prayer wherever you may be in the sanctuary. And we want you to know that as we move forward, there will no longer be a formal announcement in terms of members being invited to the altar to come to pray. Now, I don't want you to get me confused. You are still more than welcome to gather around the altar during our corporate prayer period. There will just not be a formal invitation that'll be presented to you from the worship leader. Whenever we say it is corporate prayer time or it is time for us to pray or talk to the Lord, that is automatically your invitation to assume whatever posture prayer you want to assume. The altar is always open and available. This is the sanctuary of God. It's always open and available for you to come and lay your request before God at the altar. I just want you to be aware, in case you don't hear a formal invitation to come to the altar, just know that that invitation is already implied. And when we move into our corporate prayer period, then you are more than welcome to come. Additionally, normally we recite our church mission statement and our vision statement towards the end of service near the benediction. We're going to move that up towards the beginning of our worship service, as we'll all recite that together to always have at the forefront of our minds who it is that we have been called to be as a ministry and as a church, and what it is that we're seeking to accomplish in the name of Jesus Christ. So rather than hearing and seeing that at the end of our worship service, that'll now be moved towards the beginning. Because we are on the other side of this pandemic experience, we know that some things have changed in how we interact with one another. But I believe that at the core of who we are called to be as a church community, and I don't just speak about the local church now, I speak about the church universal. And a big part of what we do involves fellowship and interacting with one another. We've kind of gotten away from that for good reason. We've tried to take some precautions to avoid people becoming ill or becoming sick or possibly infecting others with a virus. But we got to get back to engaging one another and fellowshipping with one another and welcoming one another, because that means so much. The power of touch, the power of communication means so much to what we do as a church. So to help us do that, when you come in on Sunday mornings in person, our ushers and our greeters will have a station for you as you enter in, where you'll be able to pick up a wristband, a green wristband, a yellow wristband, or a red wristband. The green wristband says to every other member in the church, listen, I'm open to it all. I'm open to the handshakes. I'm open to the hugs. I'm open to the conversation. The yellow wristband will say, listen, I'm open to the conversation, but maybe I'm not as comfortable with the handshake or the hug yet. So just give me a dab, give me a Wakanda hug, give me an elbow bump, and we'll keep it at that. The red wristband says, listen, I'm not quite there yet. I still have some reservations about some things, and we certainly understand that and are sensitive to that. But either way, we want to move towards cultivating again this communal and fellowship experience one with another. So you'll begin to see that on Sunday mornings as well. And don't feel bad. You're certainly not obligated to wear a wristband, but it will certainly help us in engaging one another in a more understanding way. And so expect that when you come into worship on Sunday mornings as well. For the most part in our worship service, everything else is going to be remaining the same. We just want to ensure that as we move forward, we're all moving forward together and we are on the same page. We're trying to be more timely in our worship, but more than anything, we're trying to be more inclusive, we're trying to be more creative, and we're trying to be more excellent in what we present. In terms of inclusivity, let me say a word about that. We're going to be reaching out to some of you at some point to be an active part of our worship experience. We know that you have a voice, you have some creativity about doing some things. Don't worry, we won't be asking you to sing or anything like that. But there'll be some opportunities for you to engage with us in the worship service so that we can all get to know one another a little bit better, and that everybody has a part other than the usual individuals that normally lead our worship. Our worship should be a corporate family experience. Yes, we have our worship leaders, but more than that, we want to make sure that you are part of the worship service as well. And so attached to this video, you'll see kind of an outline of document of how things will flow and what things will look like. But I didn't want us to move forward without all of us being on the same page. I didn't want any of this to be a surprise to you when you came in this coming weekend. Know that we're doing our best to move our church forward, not just in this area, but in other areas of our ministry as well. But we're starting with this, and we look forward to everything that's going to come out on the other side of it. Pray for it, support it. I know that it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but just give it some time. Adjustment takes time. Stay prayerful about it. But more than anything, remember that when we come here, it's not necessarily about our personal preferences, but it's about the glory of God and how we can do things in a more excellent way as a church. I love you, family. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow night in Powerful Life Bible Study, as well as this weekend in worship. Until then, have a great day. Peace.